Hello, everyone. Today, Simon Chamberlain and myself, Chirag Patel, will be presenting the case on WestJet Airlines, which focuses on information technology, governance, and corporate strategy. Today's agenda will focus on the following areas. First, I will begin providing insight on the company background and the history of the IT department. This should provide context on the current situation of the firm and its positioning within the market. Next, I'll provide an outline of the current challenges faced by the IT department, which necessitate the need for a new Chief Information Officer. Further, Simon will then speak to the start of a digital transformation at WestJet and how this addresses the existing challenges of the firm and ultimately their growth plan. And to conclude, Simon will provide the challenges encountered by the firm throughout their transformation journey and provide a set of recommendations that should help facilitate this journey over time. I'll start by providing some background on the WestJet story. It's headquartered at Calgary International Airport. It was started in 1996 as a low-cost carrier modeled after US-based Southwest Airlines. It was primarily created to serve regional markets in Western Canada not served by other airlines such as Air Canada. As it's grown, it's faced a series of challenges in all areas of the organization, and it's now faced with a digital transformation that's required to bring it through the next evolution as an airline. A few key notes in terms of its market positioning and size as of 2011 are the following, and these help to provide context to its current situation and its positioning with respect to other airlines in the industry. In 2011, it had $3 billion in revenue. Its fleet included 90 Boeing 737 next generation aircraft. Its network consisted of 85 destinations and served 18 countries across the world. And in terms of size, it is number 2 in Canada and number 9 in North America. WestJet's current IT structure was not positioned to support its upcoming challenges. First, a few notes on the IT department in its current context. The IT structure was primarily focused on providing in-house solutions. This meant that many systems were proprietary and built and maintained internally. Thus, they worked very closely with various business units, and this resulted in an org structure that was scattered, with different personnel working across different functions. WestJet claimed that this structure allowed them to be able to respond quickly to any urgent business unit needs and allowed flexibility in terms of scope and job responsibilities. Now, the primary challenge that necessitated a need for transformation was the following. As the airline continued to grow, it required the ability to code share. Code sharing with other airlines allows one airline to sell tickets on another airline's flights to extend the network for its own customers. For example, Calgary to Toronto on WestJet and Toronto to New York on Delta could all be sold by WestJet as one ticket. Now, in order to address this challenge of being able to code share, WestJet CEO made the decision to hire an experienced CIO who could then transform the IT infrastructure and the IT systems and organization at WestJet to be able to respond to this need. Cheryl Smith was hired by the CEO of WestJet to tackle these challenges. Her previous experience, coupled with her career flexibility, made her an excellent candidate for this role. She was the previous CIO at McKesson Corp, a leading pharmaceutical and healthcare technology company. There, her experience includes managing a $400 million budget and over 1,500 IT professionals. And finally, she herself views herself as a contract CIO, someone who can parachute into an organization and bring immediate value without necessarily becoming a long-term member. All these made her an excellent candidate to lead the digital transformation moving forward at WestJet. As requested by WestJet's leadership, her first task was to come in and help us figure out what we have. As a start, Cheryl Smith needed to determine if WestJet had the right technologies, appropriate expertise, efficient processes and procedures, effective operating structure, and solid systems. An IBM study had recommended that WestJet establish a Program Management Office, or PMO. Cheryl had asked that this recommendation be put on hold as it may not be prudent. She commissioned her own benchmarking study by bringing in two firms who revealed the following key insights. The current IT team was the right size and budget compared to industry peers. Half of their operations and procedures were considered to be industry standard, and the current IT organization was structured in a manner that allows all roles to be all-purpose and serve any business unit in the case of an emergency. As a next step, Cheryl Smith had discussions with business leaders within the organization which revealed the future role for IT. Her conversations with business unit leaders suggested that guest services and satisfaction would be a game changer, and IT, through WestJet.com had a major role to play in enabling the customer journey from start to finish. These initiatives to support the customer journey would require focus on elements such as kiosk, mobile, and web capabilities, flexible call center systems, including work from home abilities, and the ability to innovate through the loyalty and rewards program. With this, it was clear that based on the feedback of the benchmarking study and the discussions with senior leaders, that a digital transformation would be required to position the company for its next growth evolution. Now, Simon will speak to the digital transformation.
Thank you, Chirag. Now that we have the understanding of the current situation and how WestJet became what it is today, it's time to take a look at the future outlook. Smith developed a transformation plan with the following objectives: increasing system functionality, improving the confidence that business units have in IT, realigning IT from top to bottom to be transparent and more responsive to business units, change the IT culture from an individual to a collaborative mindset, and finally promote the relationship between business units and IT as a partnership. The successful implementation of her plan will require a strong commitment of senior leadership, and Smith will need to be convincing in her communications so that employees adhere to her plan. The first step of the plan will be to create stronger linkage between the IT department and the business units. The key to achieving this will be to make the IT department business-facing by creating specialized teams that will tackle the daily requests of the business units. These specialized teams will be more in tune and responsive to the issues facing their business units and more properly equipped to find better solutions more rapidly. This endeavor will require reassignment of half of the IT department to different specialized teams while keeping the other half to work on the company-wide common infrastructures. This reassignment will certainly create obstacles for Smith, and they will have to be addressed. I will touch on this on the final slides. The second step will be to prepare an IT leadership team capable of not only leading their IT teams, but also bridging communication between the IT teams and the executive presidents of business units. Thanks to business unit CIOs, business units will have greater control over their specific IT resources and priorities. Furthermore, by having the skills to understand the realities of both IT and business, the business unit CIOs will act as a lead collaboration agent between the two groups. Finally, the business unit CIO's goals will be closely linked to the goals of the business unit, which will provide a strong interdepartmental goal alignment. The third step aims at optimizing the planning and budgeting process of IT projects. In the old governance model, heads of business units met monthly with the CIO and essentially fought over the IT resources and priorities. The process was lengthy and projects were oftentimes under-delivered. With the new concept of IT teams being business-facing, this planning method will be abandoned since the ongoing IT needs of business units will be handled by the respective business units' IT teams. Now, the executive team, in collaboration with a common infrastructure IT team, will be able to focus on larger IT projects affecting the entire company. In the new planning process, business unit managers will have the chance to pitch their cases annually to the executive management team, who will then decide which projects will be funded and which ones should be prioritized. Prioritizing projects in this manner with the full attention of senior management will ensure that they are delivered entirely and also increase the likelihood of success. The fourth step of the transformation plan touches on the topics of safety and risk management. Being near an airport runway, WestJet's data center was at risk of a catastrophic incident. Smith also saw the benefit of adding a redundant data center to hedge the risk of bad weather events and power outages. Having a backup data center will ensure WestJet's ability to maintain operations even during shutdown events, which is an essential service for their customers and also an absolute necessity for the shareholders. The final step is the creation of an IT operations center unit that will provide 24/7 support for WestJet operations. Providing this service is essential for the airline staff who work around the clock and who sometimes face urgent issues that cannot wait until the next day. In more concrete terms, Smith is aligning the goals and operations of her IT department with those of the organizations. The new center provides higher responsiveness to system outages and emergency, and also a better and less stressful work environment for the airline employees. As Smith shifts her IT structure to be more holistic and responsive, she is bound to face obstacles on her journey. Beyond the technical challenges, the biggest opposition will be her employees. Let's not forget the role that the IT department played to bring WestJet where it is today. These employees are proud of the proprietary systems they have built and the camaraderie they've developed throughout the years. Unfortunately, as enterprises change and grow, their structure and sometimes even their culture must also adapt to support their growth. Explaining how the reassignment of half of the IT staff is essential to support the business needs will be a difficult sell for Smith. Thankfully, she has been proactive in keeping her peers informed and gaining the confidence of the CEO and other VPs, which should help her with the transition. Smith has properly assessed the need to make her story compelling so that both the IT and business sides buy into her governance plan. To help her with this process, we recommend she follows Cutter's 8-step change model. Clearly, Smith has already created a climate for change. She's quickly finding solutions to IT issues and forming a coalition for change with the leaders of the company. We believe that creating and communicating a vision is the next area she should focus on. Although her plan follows a logical path, her message is still unclear. We recommend that in her message, Smith should start by recalling to her employees the mission of WestJet, which is to enrich the lives of everyone in WestJet's world. She should explain how the value that WestJet can provide for its employees, customers, and shareholders is greater in a collaborative structure like the one she is proposing than in a silo mindset. She should list the goals of what they aim to achieve as a reason for moving forward. To properly engage and enable the organization, she will need to identify the leaders capable of influencing and making them understand the message so that they can also share this vision and help in removing obstacles. In conclusion, we support the rationale of Smith and the steps she wishes to take in order to align her business, organizational, and information strategies. However, the implementation will have to be done diligently and with the continuous communication in order to address the concerns of the employees, because their acceptance of the plan is the single biggest factor affecting the success of the transformation. Thank you very much for listening to our presentation.